Welcome to the Nail Pro Show.
The first bit we're going to use is our sanding band and mandrel, and this is the optimum bit you're going to use during preparation. The reason why is because it's the same surface as a hand file. You're not going to use coarse, you're going to use medium to fine. The reason why you're going to use this is because it's going to create the perfect texture for the enhancement to bond to. You do not want to be aggressive. You want to allow the electric file to do the work for you. So after we push the cuticles back, at the lowest speed, you want to be able to work from corner to corner. You don't want to go side to side. If you go side to side, the bit can slip around. You want to be able to work with zone 1 of your barrel, not the edge, zone 1, which is the very front end of the barrel. And again, work around the cuticle by tickling the nail, tickle, tickle, and tickle your way all the way through the surface to remove the shine from the surface of the natural nail. Notice that I'm using a feathering or a tickling motion when I am removing shine. I'm not digging. You don't want to dig. You want to let the electric file do all the work for you. So remember, around, tickle, 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 tickle. Make sure you remove all the shine thoroughly through the natural nail. Once you are done doing that, you're going to be able to use your cleanser of choice to remove the dust and contaminants from the surface before application. When it comes to surface shaping, you have the option of using your bit of choice. I'm going to use a safety bit to get around the cuticle so I don't nick her or spin around the finger from catching an edge. Now before I start, I'm going to draw up my roadmap. We are going to use what I call the I formation. So you can see this is basically the roadmap we are going to use in order to put in the perfect shape in the least amount of time. Now notice that I actually have an over grip position. My hand is not like this. My hand is going to be blanketing her hand while her arm is resting. That way I have full control while I'm working. I'm going to run my electric file at a low speed, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run from zone 1 to zone 2 to zone 3 of the barrel. So again, I'm not going to start from here and go to here. I want to be able to stay within the I formation. So as you can see, I'm going to use zone 1 to zone 2 to file all the way through and create the perfect arch. Right-handed users, remember you always want to pull towards yourself. You don't want to go side to side. Lefties, you're going to be working in reverse and pulling in the opposite direction. So notice around the cuticle area, I'm going to use zone 1, and I'm going to work around the cuticle area in one direction. In order to get perfection around the cuticle area, you do not go side to side. Once I'm done doing the cuticle area, I'm going to look down the barrel of the nail. I'm looking straight down the barrel of the nail. I'm going to work zone 3 to zone 1. Zone 3, zone 2, zone 1, all the way through. This is going to allow me to build the perfect C curve from side to side. Once I am done shaping the eye, I can come around and through the whole entire surface of the nail in one direction, working from zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, and as you can see, I'm able to shape the nail in the least amount of time. I've always been asked, how do you shorten the length of the nail by using your electric file? We've all been taught to use our hand files to reduce the length. But in order for you to save time, there should be proper technique so that your electric file doesn't jump or skip while you work. Most people, what they want to be able to do is they want to come straight on like this. So we're going to call this a 12 o'clock position. That's not correct. What you want to be able to do is you want to be able to come in at the 2 o'clock position. So we're going to visualize a clock. This is 12, this is 1, between 1 and 2. You want to start from zone 3. You want to start from zone 3 of your barrel and work all the way down to zone 1. So zone 3, zone 2, zone 1. Again, at a low speed. Notice if I come in at zone 3 and I start to work up, you see how I can actually shorten. So I'm keeping it at 2 o'clock. So what I'm doing is I'm sliding it as I'm working. Zone 3, zone 2, zone 1, and you can see I could reduce the length without ever jumping or skipping. The biggest challenge when it actually comes to doing backfills is trying to cut in a deep smile line without losing control of your handpiece. The biggest problem that most beginners, as well as I would say veterans, make is the hand position, because what they want to do is they want to hold the hand like this in order to come in and cut the smile line like this. The problem is your hand always runs into the other hand. So what we have to do is we have to use the over grip position, right, so that you blanket the hand and it allows you to be at this position, which is the barrel below the tip, or basically zone 1 being parallel to the surface because we're working on a convex area, and we want to be able to end up in the same position as we get over here, right? Most people struggle because they're trying to use the edge of the barrel when they're cutting. This is not what you're supposed to cut with. You're supposed to cut with zone 1 and 2 of the barrel. So I'm going to show you guys how to practice so that you can make the cut in, again, the least amount of time. You should be able to make all 10 cuts in less than 10 minutes. Now what I've done is I've illustrated points where your bit has to be through the cut. So again, starting from here, basically getting to the middle point and ending in this position. What we want to be able to do is work at a low speed. If your handpiece actually has enough torque, you should not bog down. So notice how I have the hand in the overgrip position. This is going to allow me to come in with zone 1 and work all the way to here. Notice how, again, I'm not focusing on more than zone 1. The hardest part is getting from the center to this point without skipping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to readjust. My thumb comes from this position to basically underneath, and I want to close my wrist. Close my wrist, as you can see, close my wrist all the way through. Again, a little less pressure. Why? Because it's going to allow me to come through and make the adjustments that I possibly need. The worst part is when your barrel starts to jiggle or skip. The reason why it's skipping is because you're running the edge into the face. We don't want to be able to do that. The whole purpose is trying to take as much of it down as you can without skipping. Once you're done doing this, it allows you to come in with your hand file and sharpen up the smile line you deserve to have. This is how you're going to be able to practice getting the depth you need and the perfection without sacrificing quality. What I've done here is I've illustrated the most common problem, and it is the lift. So we're going to assume that this blue area is lifted acrylic or gel. We were all taught to use our hand file to basically continually file until the line disappears. I'm here to tell you that it is impossible to remove a fill line with a hand file. You need to be proficient with your electric file in order to remove the lifting so that you do not show imperfection. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use a combination between 2 bits, safety as well as diamond. The best part about the safety bit is I don't have to worry, again, about the edge running onto my natural nail. I'm never going to be able to dig into the surface. So what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to file behind the lifted area, okay? As you can see how I illustrated with the marker. We want to be able to file behind the lifted area, and how you're going to be able to do that is by using your safety bit. Again, the best part about the safety bit is you're going to be able to get right behind that cuticle area, and as you can see, I'm going to take this down, focusing on that area, And as I get really, really close to the natural nail, what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to flick off whatever is lifted. You'll notice I won't be able to dig in. Take a look. Okay. We are assuming that we've gotten close to the natural nail. At this point, you will be able to switch to your diamond bit or your sanding bit and basically flick it away. See that? Lightly flick away the surface. If you have gotten close to the natural nail, all of that loose area will pop right off. This is how you're going to be able to remove lifting from the cuticle area without doing any damage at all. Actually, it is the only way you will be able to remove lifting around the cuticle area so that you have zero fill lines and you do not perforate the natural nail.